everyone. I hope we're all doing awesome as always. Just wanted to follow up again regarding where we're at with my JSAUX dock and getting connected through the Ethernet. I just got a response back today from Valve shortly after I posted the video this morning, and I wanted to go ahead and read the email that I received back to you guys, so you can kind of see where we're at with the process, and see if I can't actually get the situation resolved soon enough by meeting, I guess, their demands. But go ahead and read this to you. It says, begins, we cannot review a 30-plus minute video, but if you'd like to provide the highlights, we'd be happy to take them into account. I'd recommend posting to the bug report discussion forum too, if you have details to share. The Steam Deck team is actively working on making sure we can provide support for as many games, software, and peripheral options as possible. We're shipping frequent updates and fully expect Steam Deck's compatibility to grow steadily over time. Spoken to me like a marketing commercial. I would have at least liked maybe just an acknowledgement of appreciation of thank you for, bringing this to our attention. Anything that would kind of not make it seem as though you just had anything better to do than not deal with my silliness and all that it is. But we continue. It says, we just released SteamOS 3.3.2 to stable. This includes a number of updates for the dock and external displays. I'd recommend updating to this if you haven't done so already. Well, good news. I have. Unfortunately, didn't work. So, that's kind of why I'm making this video, so that hopefully I can get everything as concise as possible to hopefully meet your demands. And I will fill out a bug report along with this video, and hopefully we can get closer to getting this repaired, because I am not your enemy. I'm a guy who bought this thing, and I'm interested in helping. That's why I gave you the information as soon as it, kind of became a thing to me. But I'll just take it that, neither of us really know each other. We're both probably just kind of like firing off a little bit late in the day. So I do apologize that I offended you somehow in my, exchange. But if we can move along beyond that, I'd like to just help you get the situation resolved and give you a little bit of diagnostic information that I've been able to put together in this more professionally constructed video, I hope. Anyway, let's continue with the email so we can get on to the actual diagnostic stuff. But as it says, it begins to ask questions. What was the brand and model of the other hub docks you were using? A variety. There were so many. I just haven't been able to. I think one was a J5, another one was a Creative, something like that. I'll put that in the bug report when I get that filed. Type of router and switch you are connecting through. Provide the brand, model number if possible. Who is the internet provider? Have you attempted to connect through other internet providers? Does the connection work after switching to desktop mode? I actually answered all that stuff, like, back in my original first email, but I didn't speak to Jesse the whole way through, so I don't know if they read the previous notes or anything like that, or if it's just how can we get to the quickest canned response of we're doing everything we can to send things out in a timely fashion and get everything up to date. Which I guess I can understand, but, like, can we maybe start to be people again? Like, I know that it's all too fashionable in the 21st century to be a bot agent and just kind of let yourself be undermined and misled by all the thoughts and feelings that are getting poured down on top of you. But, could we maybe, just maybe, just try to think that we're all wanting this thing to actually be good and successful. Like, I didn't try to yell at you. I wouldn't. That's not my point. I really do want this fixed as soon as possible, because I really enjoyed the device so far, and my whole intention actually is to make more videos and things like this. I want to help people feel as though they can be creative with the Steam Deck, and any dock that can help people manage to bridge that gap and get to that point. That's the kind of stuff that I'm looking to try to explore. And even if I'm not gonna knock everyone's socks off with everything I do, hopefully I can at least inspire you to take a little bit further than maybe I might. But the main point that I'm trying to get across is that this technology is very beneficial if we learn to harness it as a creative tool and not just another yoke of making sure that we just get more mainstream stuff kind of washed over us. Not to say that you can't have that stuff, but I do think that the Steam Deck would be an amazing piece of equipment to try to use to spark creativity again. But as said, we will just move along to getting to the actual diagnostic, though. Okay, well, as we can see, we're here in the Windows environment. We can see the information on the Steam Deck right here in the About section. We'll compare that against the information that we see inside of Linux. But then right here, you can see we've got our Ethernet connection, which is showing information populated fully, along with our Wi-Fi connection. Of course, the Wi-Fi is running on a different subnet than the Ethernet connection, so they do have different gateways, and they're able to run simultaneous to each other inside the Windows environment. So they're able to have both routes run, and just as a quick show to make that the case, I'm going to go ahead and shut off both the Ethernet and the Wi-Fi really quick, and then go ahead and let's bring up a window really quick just to kind of see what we got on here. Alright, so let's see. Now we still got our internet access is being listed, showing that we are connected. So let's go ahead and shut off the Wi-Fi. And and we'll go ahead and we'll disable that. Alright, so you see we're not connected and we're not, and we're fully disabled on the Ethernet. Alright, let's try to get to YouTube. Alright, so we can see no more connections. Alright, so let's just do this as quickly as possible. Go ahead and enable that, since the Ethernet that we're primarily concerned with says it's enabled, so we're there. Alright, let's go back into our Windows, and there, look at that, we're populating. So yep, there we go. So as we see, the Ethernet does work inside Windows, and then I will go ahead and show you again these numbers right here, so we can just focus on what's going to be missing when we get into Linux. I want you to keenly look right here at the ipv4 information for the Ethernet connection. So this is around the home network, Realtek USB gigabit family controller. Here, of course, is the MAC address right here. And this information we'll see again in Linux, but we will not see the IP address information popping up most likely, nor this same connecting address. I'm still trying to figure out how to make that stuff happen, because what happens is this ipv6 address right here, you'll also see, these are the only two pieces of information I ever have populated when we get inside Linux. There is a handshake agreement that needs to be happening somewhere in this part between these things to hand off between your MAC address and the IPv6. Somewhere in there is this kind of exchange, and I'll set up a shot so we can kind of show where the linkage is breaking, but I don't want to spend too much time on it, as this is a very time sensitive video. So if you want to come back to this, I would just say pause it and look it over, but other than that, let's go ahead and take a look at what goes on inside the Linux environment. I'm going to just shut down, and then we'll bring this back up in Linux and we'll just be able to compare all the numbers. So I'll be right back with y'all in just a moment. Okay, well, as you can see, we've loaded back here into the desktop of SteamOS 3.3.2, the most recent update that I did earlier this week. And we're just going to go over the last little bit to show where the handshake issue needs to get resolved. I'm going to come in here into the console and type in ipv4, and that's going to give us our current routing table info, basically. So right here, part 1 LO, that is our Ethernet connection, and that's where we're encountering a little bit of this problem, unfortunately. Let's see. Right there is the model number, and you can see the MAC address. And then we also see our Wi-Fi info. Now, we can get online. Let's go ahead and just pull up Google. And so yeah, we can cruise around perfectly fine right now. We've got the Ethernet and the Wi-Fi connected, supposedly. And so that's where we're seeing this info in the top, in the routing table. Now, let's shut off the Wi-Fi for a moment, and with the Wi-Fi shut off, come back and look at this network info, and now we can see what's here for the Ethernet. So it shows that we're stuck with a loopback address. It's not resolving to an actual IPv4 address. Once that gets taken care of, I should end up having a hard-wired Ethernet connection in addition to the Wi-Fi. But that's simply all I'm doing, is just ruling out that this is where the issue lies. It's here in Linux. We've checked everything else. We know the other forms of connection work, and the hardware is good because it also works in the Windows operating system. And then just kind of see everything together. Let's look at that routing table again. And alright, so now it shows the full routing table right there. If we disconnect this Ethernet connection and then take a look, then we can see it still shows the loopback. It's showing that the connection is up. The reason why it's doing that is it will now actually resolve to where it says the line is activated, but if I shut off the Wi-Fi, it is still too limited of a connection to actually get any internet, and that's because the handshake agreement's not happening. But like I said, this is just a quick video to show that the issue is here within Linux, and it's just simply a handshake agreement that needs to be resolved between the MAC address handing off to the IPv4 for your Ethernet connection that's running through your USB-C adapter. So, other than that, you all have a wonderful weekend. I'm hopeful that this information will help Valve the last little bit that they need. I'm going to fill out the bug report as they required, and I'll let them know that this video exists for additional resources, but I will do everything they require for their TPS reports. On that note, thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.